High in the Andes Mountains, a civilization built an empire without the wheel, without iron tools, and without a written language, yet somehow connected thousands of miles of rugged terrain into one of history's most impressive empires. This is the story of the Inca, masters of the Andes.
A like helps the channel grow. Your subscription helps keep history from being forgotten.
Origins and the founding legend. The Inca civilization began as a small kingdom centered around the city of Cusco in modern-day Peru. According to legend, the first Inca ruler, Manco Capac, emerged from Lake Titicaca on divine orders. Another version claims he emerged from a sacred cave sent to found a great civilization. These origin stories reinforce the Inca belief that their rulers descended directly from the sun god. Historically, the Inca began as one of many competing groups in the Andean highlands. For centuries, Cusco remained a relatively modest regional kingdom among several rival powers. Early Inca rulers gradually expanded their influence through strategic alliances and small military campaigns. This slow, steady growth laid crucial groundwork for the empire's later, explosive expansion. By the early 15th century, the Inca controlled only a modest portion of the surrounding Andean region. Everything changed dramatically with the rise of one particularly ambitious and skilled ruler.
The rise of Pachacuti and imperial expansion. In 1438, an Inca prince named Pachacuti successfully defended Cusco against a powerful rival invasion. This victory allowed Pachacuti to seize the throne and begin an era of rapid transformation. Pachacuti is widely credited as the true founder of the Inca Empire as a major regional power. He launched an ambitious series of military campaigns, dramatically expanding Inca territory. Pachacuti implemented sophisticated administrative reforms to effectively manage newly conquered regions. His successors continued this expansion, eventually controlling territory stretching thousands of miles. At its height, the Inca Empire stretched from present-day Colombia to Chile and Argentina. This made it the largest empire in the pre-Columbian Americas. The empire, known to its people as Tawantinsuyu, meant the four regions united. This remarkable expansion occurred in less than a century, an astonishingly rapid imperial growth.
Governing the Andes, administration, and the quipu. Managing such a vast, mountainous empire required extraordinary administrative innovation. The Inca divided their empire into four major regions, further subdivided into smaller provinces. Conquered peoples were often required to adopt Quechua, the official Inca language. Local elites frequently retained regional authority, provided they remained loyal to the Inca state. The Inca lacked a traditional writing system, instead using an ingenious device called the quipu. Quipus consisted of knotted strings, recording numerical information and possibly narrative records. Specially trained officials, called quipu kamayaks, created and interpreted these complex knotted records. The empire implemented a labor tax system called mita, requiring citizens to work on public projects. This system funded massive infrastructure projects without relying on traditional currency or markets. This sophisticated administrative system allowed effective governance despite immense geographic challenges.
Engineering marvels, roads, terraces, and Machu Picchu. The Inca constructed one of the ancient world's most impressive road networks. This system, called the Capac Ñan, stretched over 30,000 kilometers across the empire. These roads connected mountains, deserts, and coastal regions, despite extremely challenging terrain. Rope suspension bridges allowed travelers to cross deep Andean gorges and rivers safely. Agricultural terraces carved into steep mountainsides dramatically increased farmable land. These terraces also helped prevent soil erosion and improved irrigation efficiency. Inca stonemasons developed remarkable techniques, fitting massive stones together without mortar. This precise stonework allowed structures to withstand earthquakes common throughout the Andean region. Machu Picchu, perhaps the most famous Inca site, showcased extraordinary architectural and engineering skill. This legendary mountain city remained largely unknown to the outside world until its rediscovery in 1911.
Religion and the Sapa Inca. Inca religion centered around worship of the sun god, Inti, considered the empire's primary deity. The emperor, known as the Sapa Inca, was believed to be a direct descendant of Inti himself. This divine connection granted the Sapa Inca immense political and religious authority. Elaborate religious ceremonies and festivals reinforced the emperor's sacred status throughout the empire. The Inca also worshipped Pachamama, the Earth Mother goddess, alongside numerous other nature deities. Sacred sites, called huacas, held special religious significance throughout the Andean landscape. Ritual offerings, including food, textiles, and occasionally human sacrifice, honored important deities. Human sacrifice, called capacocha, typically occurred during major religious or political events. Religious beliefs were deeply tied to agricultural cycles, mountain worship, and celestial observation. This spiritual framework unified diverse conquered peoples under shared Inca religious traditions.
Society and daily life. Inca society followed a structured hierarchy, with the Sapa Inca and nobility at the top. Regional governors and administrators managed daily affairs across the empire's 4 regions. Skilled artisans produced textiles, pottery, and metalwork valued throughout Inca society. The majority of the population worked as farmers, herders, or laborers under the mita system. Agriculture relied heavily on staple crops like potatoes, maize, and quinoa. The Inca domesticated llamas and alpacas, essential for transportation, wool, and food. Textiles held enormous cultural and economic value, often exceeding gold and silver in importance. Family and community life centered around agricultural work and regional religious festivals. The state provided social welfare, including food storage systems for times of famine or hardship. This centralized system ensured relative stability and resource distribution across the vast empire.
The Spanish Conquest. In 1532, Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro arrived on the northern coast of the Inca Empire. Pizarro's arrival coincided with a devastating civil war between Inca rulers Huáscar and Atahualpa. This internal conflict, along with diseases introduced by earlier European contact, severely weakened the empire. Pizarro and his small force of Spanish soldiers met Atahualpa at the city of Cajamarca. Through deception and a surprise ambush, Spanish forces captured Emperor Atahualpa almost immediately. Atahualpa offered an enormous ransom of gold and silver in exchange for his freedom. Despite receiving this massive ransom, Spanish forces executed Atahualpa in 1533. This shocking betrayal left the Inca Empire without clear, unified leadership. Spanish forces quickly advanced, capturing the Inca capital of Cusco shortly afterward. Remaining Inca resistance continued for decades, but the empire's political power had been fatally broken.
The fall of the Inca Empire and its legacy. Following Cusco's capture, Spanish colonizers systematically dismantled Inca political and religious authority. Remaining Inca leaders retreated to Vilcabamba, maintaining a resistance state for several decades. In 1572, Spanish forces captured and executed Tupac Amaru, the last independent Inca ruler. This event marked the definitive end of organized Inca political resistance. Spanish colonization brought devastating disease, forced labor, and dramatic cultural disruption. Despite this, many Inca agricultural, architectural, and cultural traditions survived colonization. Quechua, the Inca administrative language remains widely spoken across the Andes today. Traditional textile techniques, farming methods, and religious practices persist in many Andean communities. Machu Picchu's rediscovery in the 20th century renewed global fascination with Inca achievement. Today, the Inca legacy remains a powerful symbol of Andean identity, resilience, and engineering brilliance.
Without the wheel, without iron, and without a written language, the Inca built roads, cities, and an empire that still leaves modern engineers in awe. Though conquered, their language, traditions, and stonework endure throughout the Andes today. If you enjoyed exploring the Inca Empire, subscribe for more epic civilizations, and let us know in the comments which ancient culture we should explore next.